Hey y'all, this is my video response to James Elkin, The Object Stares Back on the Nature of Seeing, and I chose chapter 1, Just Looking, where I think he says he tries to tear apart, um, refute violently this idea of just looking. There's no such thing as um, an observer just looking at an object. Is his premise, and he's saying that we're connected to the things we see. That our eyes don't just receive light; that they are pushing into the world to see, to grasp the things we desire, um, and that light is pushing into our eyes. And he describes this in terms of these invisible threads that connect us between the objects that we're seeing. And he writes it this way: the threads that tie us to objects are invisibly fine, and normally we scarcely notice their tugs and pulls, but the webs of vision are there nonetheless. So this is one of those things where I felt like, man, if I think too deeply on this, I'm going to go insane. I'm going to be the guy wandering into traffic, um, because I'm trying to trace these threads to things I'm seeing. This it was really a good chapter, but also one of those things that takes your mind to places where you're like, wow, should I even be thinking about this? I guess I should. It was great, but could make you crazy. Could make me nuts. I don't want to go nuts. Um, so I had an experience where I walked past a bowl of fruit. As I was reading this chapter, I was kind of pacing around reading it, and I saw a pear buried under some avocados and bananas in a fruit bowl on our counter, and it triggered. Seeing this bright yellow pear, it triggered immediately this memory, and it just came back so vividly. It was just playing in my mind. Like, we just got these pears. We had placed them in the bowl. Literally, just walked in from the store, and my daughter Edith, she's 4 years old. She's big, beautiful eyes and curly hair. She's the sweetest thing. I love her so much. She sees these pears. She didn't know we had gotten them. She sees these pears, and her face lights up. She said, "Daddy, can we eat these pears right now?" I said, "No, they're not ready yet. Pears that aren't ready are not good pears." And she said, "Okay," and she was fine about it. And the moment left, and they got buried under other fruit, and we forgot about them. Um, and then I saw my older daughter's lunchbox, and that triggered a memory from a few nights ago where I was sitting at the counter doing my reading again, and I heard she slams down a big vat of hummus and just gets out a Tupperware container and starts scooping hummus and puts her lunchbox up on the counter and unfolds it, and she's packing her own lunch. And I've never seen her do this before. It's the first time I've ever seen her do it. She's in first grade. I was like, I was just wiping your butt. Like, it feels like last week, and now you're packing your own lunch. And I said, what are you doing? And she goes, I'm packing my lunch. I'm getting ready for school tomorrow. It was just crazy. It was cool. It was awesome. But what provoked me was the idea that these threads, that objects are waiting to be seen. They're these threads that connect us to them. Our eyes are searching, and our desires and all those things are functioning, and almost in a sense moving our eyes. Um, but I started thinking about these threads that he sort of describes, and threads are made of fibers, and these individual fibers make up a thread. Um, and it just got me thinking, like, what are these threads made of exactly? It isn't just academic. It isn't just, if I talk about what as artists we know of color theory and what moves the eye and all those types of academic things, it seems like you're scratching at something, but I don't. There seems to be something else at work, um, other than just light. And he talks about the self and desires, and those two memories. It made me think of what ancient authors described as in antiquity described as agape, this concept of a place of unconditional favor or love. and um, that being a reality that exists in the world, a metaphysical reality, um, but one that we can experience readily nonetheless. And that was what was functioning in my heart and my mind at that moment, when I had that memory of my daughter Edith, and it just got me thinking crazy thoughts. I guess it was pretty crazy. Maybe I'm already going nuts. But I just thought, wow, there's it's incredible. What an incredible world we live in, to think of it this way. And I don't always think of it this way, and I'm happy to be thinking of it this way. But just the idea that there's this that there's a force, or something, I don't know. Anyway, I'll move on from that real quickly because I'm running out of time here. I'm over my time. Um, but he described a scene where he's sitting in his office, and again talking about how seeing is active, proactive, and um, he writes of the scene. He's looking out a window over the city. He writes, "My eyes love this scene, and I keep looking away from the computer and letting my gaze drift through the trees and the heavy air and out onto the distant lake. Could there be anything tense about this? Is this still a kind of hunger?" He's describing himself as relaxed. I think it may be, since I also look out there when I find myself at a loss for a word or idea. Writing is hard, and when I find my concentration broken, it needs to be healed by bathing in the soft, meaningless landscape. That unselfish, abstracted, empty moment I spend looking at sailboats and thinking of nothing is really an oasis for my eyes, a source of nourishment that lets me continue my pursuit of words. It only seems to be a senseless pleasure. Um, that that statement unfolded a motivation of mine to paint. Um, I'm making work, in particular non-representational work, in the manner in which I'm doing it, to create this kind of experience, this nourishment for viewers. That's been something that I've articulated in artist statements in the past. Um, I think one time I wrote, I just I want my work to feel people like, they're sitting down on the beach with a bag of chips and a beer in one hand, and just being refreshed. And that was really that was a what a cool thing to read, um, because I'm aiming for it, and I really want to create that experience in the work that I'm making. So as I've said before, man, Elkins has me thinking, and I'll continue to chew on all the things he's saying, and hopefully these ideas will become even more integrated in my work and my thoughts about my work. Anyway, I'm way over time, but thanks for listening. Have a great week. Try not to go nuts.